What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Jason Courier from the Steve and Jay Show, and this is our weekly Ring of Honor review and reaction show. If you could please click the subscription button down below, and don't forget to click the notification bell to receive notification when we post our new stuff. Tonight I will be reviewing and reacting to Ring of Honor episode number 319, which originally aired on October 30th, 2017. This was another Las Vegas recording. Ian Riccaboni and Colt Cabana were on the commentary with a little special guest. Cody Rhodes, Cody the American Nightmare, joined Colt Cabana and Ian Riccaboni for a couple of matches, or actually a match. But anyway, the night started out, the night itself started out with a promo. They replayed Jay Lethal getting jobbed out of winning the Honor Rumble and becoming the number one contender for Cody's title. Then cut to a promo, backstage type promo with The Addiction. Frankie Kazarian was first on mic and said that Jay Lethal had a classic case of boo-boo face, which I thought was pretty dang funny. Christopher Daniels then kind of cut in and had some pretty colorful language for a TV promotion. I do believe he dropped the old F-bomb a couple times. It's kind of interesting angle. Anyway, they basically threw the challenge back at Jay Lethal, who challenged them last week, saying that they've been disrespecting Ring of Honor, and he is tired of them disrespecting his brand. Then they introduced Cody, the American Nightmare. He came out, had his little introduction. He's walking down the ramp and he's doing holding the hand out and kiss the ring thing to the crowd, and pretty fun stuff. A couple of people actually kissed the ring, which was pretty cool. Cody had some awesome reactions to the kissing of the ring. It was good stuff. The match that he was out there to guest commentate for was TK O'Ryan of the Kingdom, who was accompanied by his fellow Kingdom members, Vinny Marseglia and Matt Taven, to ringside when Vinny brought the axe, which was a object of ire for Cody. He's not a big fan of allowing a wrestler to bring an axe to ringside, and he kind of made it known during this match. Good stuff by Cody. He's awesome. Anyway, TK O'Ryan was taking on Jonathan Gresham. These two have a bit of a history from their six-man tag battles between the Kingdom and Search and Destroy. Early on in the match, Jonathan Gresham goes to extend the hand for the Code of Honor handshake, which TK O'Ryan kicks out of the way and turns to the crowd and yells, "There's a conspiracy against me." As they were walking down to ringside, I don't remember if it was both or if Taven or Marseglia had the sign, but one of them or both of them had a sign. I believe it was just one of them had a sign that said conspiracy. So they're playing this whole, there's a conspiracy theory against particularly TK O'Ryan, but the Kingdom. Early on in the match, Jonathan Gresham, being the smaller of the two competitors, got a little bit overpowered by TK O'Ryan. Jonathan Gresham, being the awesome wrestler that he is, though, managed to get a little bit of offense off of his own on TK, doing some pretty cool flippy dippy stuff and pretty cool holds. He had an arm bar at one time on TK. He sets everything up so cool. He kind of flips around a little bit and rolls over the top of guys and really uses his athleticism and his size to his advantage as opposed to a disadvantage. He takes his disadvantage and makes it his advantage. He's an awesome wrestler. It's good stuff. Super fun to watch. Vinny Marseglia then gets up onto the apron with the axe as he's distracting the ref. Matt Taven then grabs Gresham's legs. As Gresham then is paying more attention to Matt Taven outside of the ring, he gets the big splash in the corner by TK O'Ryan. TK comes flying in, splashes Gresham. TK O'Ryan then takes Jonathan Gresham and he flings him outside of the ring. As Gresham is now on the outside of the ring, Vinny Marseglia and Matt Taven start to circle around Jonathan Gresham. As they're circling, out come Motor City Machine Guns to save the day. So, woohoo! Big moment. As Jonathan Gresham is still on the outside of the ring, all three members of the Kingdom were inside the ring. Motor City Machine Guns come into the ring, and they are standing toe-to-toe with the three members of the Kingdom. I want to say it was either Colt or Cody. I want to say it was Cody. He's yelling, "I really want to see this. Let these guys go at it," kind of thing. The ref, though, kicks out Motor City Machine Gun. He gives them the you're out of here. The Kingdom then celebrate. They're bouncing around the ring, high-fiving each other, chest bumping, doing the yeehaw, we're winning somehow thing. The ref then points to Taven and Marseglia and says, you're out of here. They go apeshit crazy. They are arguing with the official as the three of them are paying more attention to the ref. You can see Jonathan Gresham sneaking into the ring. The ref then gets pushed by TK O'Ryan. Not sure why it wasn't a DQ right then and there. Anyway, the ref gets pushed by TK O'Ryan. The ref then pushes TK O'Ryan back. There is a schoolboy roll-up by Jonathan Gresham. He snuck in. This was the part of the sneaking in thing. He had snuck in, and he's on all fours back behind TK O'Ryan when he gets pushed by the official. TK falls over. Gresham looks like he's going to go for a pin attempt, but instead he rolls it into an ankle lock, which is, of course, a pretty big deal, getting TK O'Ryan into any kind of an ankle lock or anything involving that ankle. Gresham then transitions that ankle lock into a pretty cool multiple rollover crucifix pin attempt. He kind of has a little series of really cool, like, roll over you and into a pin attempts. One of them was a really cool bridge that looked like it could have worked, but Vinny Marseglia on the outside of the ring still, even though he had been kicked out, he's kind of milling about the outside, arguing with officials. He grabs the official before he can get the 3 count, as he's on the 2 count, and pulls the official outside of the ring. Once again, I'm not too sure why there wasn't a DQ right there. Probably should have been another opportunity to disqualify TK O'Ryan. everybody's just kind of standing around now at this point. TK O'Ryan, Gresham's down in the ring. TK O'Ryan is inside the ring yelling at his fellow Kingdom members. He says, "Come on, boys, let's get this guy." They come rushing into the ring. Now they all three are stomping on Jonathan Gresham. Now finally there is a call for the bell. Ding, ding, ding. Jonathan Gresham wins by disqualification, even though he is currently getting the boots stomped to him. Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley then come rushing into the ring to save Jonathan Gresham. They clear out the ring. There wasn't even any... I don't even think they made any contact. I think they just came running in and everybody left the ring. I don't even think that there was any kind of a fight involved. It was just they came in and rushed the ring and cleared the ring. I think that was it. So they're kind of setting up some more of the Kingdom versus Search and Destroy stuff, that's cool. It's fun. It's a fun little match. I like the 6-man tag stuff. I like the tag stuff. Really like the 6-man tag stuff. So, and Motor City Machine Guns, super fun to watch. So is Gresham, super fun to watch. They're all super. It's just good stuff. Good. I like this little rivalry. I like what they're doing with it. I'm sure they're going to keep it up for a little while, it seems. They then cut to a Bully Ray replay where he was talking about how he can't sustain any more head trauma. It's not something that he is in a position to do. He says that they replayed him saying that he would love to come out there and tell Jay Briscoe that he's going to get his revenge, but that he honestly was not sure if he was going to be able to ever get that revenge on Jay Briscoe. I'm really hoping that they don't have to retire Bully. I'm hoping that he just kind of has to take a little bit of a break from things and kind of let the dust settle a little bit, and then he's going to be allowed to wrestle again. I'm hoping, because I'd really like to see that. I really like Bully Ray. I'd like to see him be able to continue his career and eventually, when he retires, be able to retire on his own terms, not because they said he can't wrestle anymore. So, and I would really like to see the Jay Briscoe against Bully thing. I think that'd be fun. Jay Briscoe's awesome, so is Bully Ray. So they then replayed once again the Kenny King in-ring promo that he cut. My name is Kenny King. This is my golden throne. And if you want some of this, you're going to have to bend the knee. Talking about being a fighting champion. They also replayed some highlights from the Four Corner Survival match, in which Mark Briscoe, of course, won and won the opportunity to be the number one contender for Kenny's title. Cody, then they cut back to ringside, and Cody is still in the commentary booth or at the commentary desk with Colt Cabana and Ian Riccaboni. He's, though, taking off his headset, and he tells Ian to zip it, grabs the mic, and he goes to the ring. He says, being the company man now, he feels that it is his duty to right a wrong that was wronged by the addiction. He says that there was a young upstart that had a opportunity taken away from him by the addiction when they rushed the ring. He says this young upstart is going to get a title shot right here, right now, tonight, and that young upstart is none other than Scorpio Sky. And I believe it was Colt Cabana quickly corrected the fact that Scorpio is not a young wrestler. He's not an up-and-comer. He's had I believe he said 15 years plus of international competition experience. So not exactly the young up-and-comer, but fun match, though. I mean, once again, it was a Cody match against a contender that he named number one contender and named the most worthy contender. And again, no disrespect to Scorpio Sky, but he's certainly better than Cheeseburger, but he's probably not the contender that everybody wants to see. Dalton Castle. The match itself, as before it started, as it was starting, Cody extends the hand to Scorpio Sky for him to kiss the ring. Scorpio does the what the heck kind of shrug, grabs Cody's hand, gets down on one knee, and gives the ring a big kiss. Cody does the shock face thing, turns around, and he's got his back to Scorpio Sky now. Scorpio Sky gives him the big what for, and pops up. Oh, I'm sorry. He wraps up. He's still down. He wraps up Cody, rolls him over into a pin attempt, tries to sneak in a quick, sneaky little pin attempt. Cody, though, kicks out, and now Cody's mad, so he's heavily taking it out on Scorpio Sky now. In that, there was some pretty cool aerial stuff by Scorpio Sky. Again, he's pretty fun to watch. He does some flippy dippy stuff that's just, it's fun to watch. You can tell that he's got a lot of international experience because he kind of has that international flair to him. It's good stuff. Cody takes over. He's in the ring doing the mocking push-up thing that he does. As he's going up to push up, Scorpio Sky knocks his hand out, causing Cody to face first it into the mat. Cody takes right back over, though. He's, again, doing the mad Cody thing. Scorpio Sky then kind of tries to generate a little bit of offense, does some cool aerial stuff. Again, he's fun to watch. He kind of flips over the top of Cody as Cody's got his laying on his back on the mat. And when Cody pops up, he gives Cody a pretty cool neck breaker. It was just a fun little kind of transition type thing. Cody then reverses a maneuver by Scorpio Sky, and he gets the label lock on Scorpio. I thought that was going to be it. I really thought he was going to tap right then and there. The crowd starts to chant for Dalton Castle. Cody kind of stands there and mean mugs the crowd a little bit. He then does this really cool flip from the corner. He does a somersault, old school somersault from the corner. I'm sorry, it was a cartwheel. He does an old school cartwheel that Cody does from the corner. And as he is in the opposite corner now, having cartwheeled his way there, he does the whole window open thing that he used to do as Stardust and flips off the crowd. Crowd pops. Everybody there's a few standing ovations even for the Cody flip off. Basically, Cody's saying, Dalton Castle, who is awesome moment, good stuff, very cool. Scorpio then goes on the attack. He's got Cody cornered, and as the official's back is turned, Cody then rakes the eyes and face of Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky goes down on the mat. Cody then, every time he locks this in, I always think that he's going for the figure four. I pop for it every time, which I think is pretty cool because, it's like a little tribute to his daddy. So oh my God, he's going to get a figure four. But no, he doesn't. He rolls over into the American Deathlock instead. And ding, ding, ding. Cody wins by submission. Scorpio Sky has to tap out. It's too much. The champ is too much. So ding, ding, ding. Cody, the champion, retains his belt and wins. They then came back from break to an episode of Coleman's Pulpit. And this was an interview by Caprice Coleman of Kenny King. They didn't do this at the Coleman's Pulpit set. They started out with Caprice Coleman at the Coleman's Pulpit set, and he said, that I had the chance to interview the new television champion, Kenny King. They cut to what they looked like they were. I'm assuming they looked like they were in the hotel still, really at the event. Anyway, just a basic. Caprice Coleman said, "Hey, wanted Kenny King to let Kenny King know, hey, I'm proud of you," that sort of thing. Kenny said that he was honored to win it there in his hometown, and that he's going to be a fighting champion, and that he was honored to have beaten Kushida, and he was glad to bring the Ring of Honor Television Championship back to the United States, and mentioned that it had been a while since it had been back home in the U.S., and so it was just a cool little promo. It was an interview, basically, of Kenny King, which I'm a fan of Kenny King, so I liked the interview. And I like Caprice Coleman, too. So I liked the interview. So good stuff. The main event of the evening was then next, and it was to be The Addiction taking on Jay Lethal and Kushida. This, of course, had been set up for the last couple of weeks with The Addiction disrespecting the brand of Ring of Honor, saying that Ring of Honor has done this, that, and the other thing to them. They've talked down to the fans. They've interrupted matches. They've done all sorts of things. And Jay Lethal pretty much called him out, said, how about you two take on me and Kushida, after they had interrupted Kushida and Scorpio Sky the week before. At the start of the match, Frankie Kazarian, before anything had even started, they introduced Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. Frankie Kazarian gets on the mic and says, "Before we get started, I just want to remind you that Christopher Daniels and myself despise each and every one of you, and despise each and every one of you stupid marks," is what he said. Each and every one of you stupid marks in the building, even. So, all y'all. This whole "we hate the fans" thing is kind of a funny angle. It's a classic heel stuff, of course. You gotta talk about the crowd if you're going to be a good heel. So, good stuff. Colt Cabana and Ian Riccaboni are doing the, "oh my God, would these guys please stop?" You know what? Ian says, let's just go to break. Maybe when we get back, these guys will be done. They cut to break, and when they come back from break, now Christopher Daniels is on mic, still sitting in the corner up on the top turnbuckle, just sitting there down-dressing the crowd, just destroying the crowd. Finally, they interrupt Christopher Daniels with Kushida's entrance music. He comes out in his full Marty McFly glasses and looking like the time traveler, and he's a fun wrestler. Good stuff. He does some neat stuff. They then introduce, of course, Jay Lethal. Kushida and Christopher Daniels start out in ring. before anything can really happen, Christopher Daniels then tags Frankie Kazarian. Frankie Kazarian then comes in and he kind of bounces around the ring with Kushida, and before Kushida can even touch him, he rolls out of the ring next to Christopher Daniels, who's off the apron and has a microphone. Christopher Daniels then says to the crowd, he's addressing the crowd, do you guys want to see them beat our ass? Crowd cheers. Do you guys want to see them hurt us? Crowd cheers. And Christopher Daniels says, well, if it's something that you guys want, it's not something we're going to give to you. You will no longer be entertained by our pain, kind of thing. I can't remember exactly what he said, but that was the gist of it. He then says, tell you what, we're going to take the count out in this one. Tells Todd St. Clair to go ahead and count us out. And they turn around and they're going to full powder on this one. Kushida, though, who is in rings as he's standing in the ring with Jay Lethal as Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian are standing outside of the ring while they're talking to the crowd. Kushida does a really, really cool somersault flip suicide dive over the top rope to the outside of the ring. Colt had a pretty funny moment where he says, well, I don't think he even understood what they said, so not his fault kind of thing. There's a pretty cool suicide dive then by Jay Lethal onto, I want to say, Christopher Daniels. There's some pretty fun double team work then by Jay Lethal and Kushida, which is a pretty fun little moment, seeing those two work really well together. They actually made a pretty fun little tag team. I wouldn't mind seeing these two tag up again and take on anybody. Well, take these guys on again. I wouldn't mind seeing them fight the Addiction again. It'd be fun. So they then cut to break as Kushida and Jay Lethal are kind of mugging in the ring a little bit. Christopher Daniels ends up in the wrong corner kind of thing. He's getting worked over by both Jay Lethal and Kushida, who are tagging back and forth and taking their turn beating on Christopher Daniels. The Addiction then end up getting Jay Lethal into the wrong corner. They do the same treatment to Jay Lethal then. They kind of work on him for a little bit. As Jay Lethal ends up on the outside of the ring, Christopher Daniels is stretching out through the ropes to grab Jay Lethal, who gives a super kick to Christopher Daniels as Frankie Kazarian charges to Jay Lethal on the outside of the ring. Jay flips Christopher Daniels up over his head, gives him the old backdrop up over his head. Then Jay Lethal then gets the hot tag to Kushida, who Kushida comes into ring. He's clearing house. He again starts to work on the arm of Christopher Daniels. As Kushida's kind of working on Christopher Daniels, he goes against the ropes. Frankie Kazarian's on the outside of the ring still. He grabs Kushida's legs. Now Christopher Daniels has the advantage on Kushida. Now they then cut to break as Christopher Daniels is kind of working on Kushida a little bit. They come back from the break and Christopher Daniels takes out Jay Lethal from the corner with, I believe, a back elbow. Kushida then turns to get the big hot tag to Jay Lethal, but nobody's home. He's doing the outstretched arm thing in the corner of where's my partner. Just as Jay Lethal then gets to the apron to get the tag, Christopher Daniels has Kushida, I believe, by the hair, and he's pulling him away from his tag partner. So the timing on that was really cool, the way they did it. They timed it perfectly. Just as Jay Lethal was getting to a position where he could tag Kushida, Christopher Daniels was pulling him away. It was really cool stuff. They really did a great job. This is just a really, really fun match. Awesome main event. Ring of Honor always has awesome matches, but this one was super fun. Getting to see Kushida and Jay Lethal team up together, that was just good stuff. Good. Kushida then finally gets the big tag to Jay Lethal. Lethal completely comes in, clears house. There's a really cool elbow drop from the top ropes by Jay Lethal onto, I believe, Christopher Daniels. Jay Lethal then calls for the lethal injection, does the whole thing, yells to the crowd, calls for it. He does the flippy dippy thing against the ropes. As he's charging towards Christopher Daniels, though, Frankie Kazarian pushes Daniels out of the way and kind of flips Jay Lethal up over the top of him. Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian then have a double arm whip on Jay Lethal, but as they flip him upside down, they catch his legs, and so now they've got Jay Lethal with his back to the mat, but they're holding him up, and they kind of push him up a little bit higher into the air, and as he's falling down, Frankie Kazarian delivers a really cool neck breaker. In kind of the same motion, Christopher Daniels is standing next to all of this still, and he then rolls Jay Lethal into a pin attempt. So really, really cool sequence there. The Addiction do a lot of cool stuff like that, where they'll double team guys, and they do a lot of cool two-man work on guys. It's just, they do it right. They do a really, really, really good job. They've got awesome chemistry together. The stuff that they do is just very cool stuff. Like this move, for example. Jay Lethal somehow kicks out of all that, though. Jay Lethal then reverses an Irish whip attempt by Christopher Daniels and causes Daniels and Frankie Kazarian to kind of run into each other. As they run into each other, then Jay Lethal has the window of opportunity to get the big tag to Kushida. Kushida and Frankie Kazarian then are the two in the ring together. There's a really, really cool hip toss into an arm bar by Kushida on Frankie Kazarian. Kushida is really fun to watch, too. He does a lot of cool flip you into a submission hold type stuff like this one was. That was very cool. Very cool stuff. There's a little bit of a crazy moment in the match then. All four members are in the ring. Jay Lethal gets a lethal injection finally on, I believe he landed it on Frankie Kazarian. Right after Jay Lethal hit the lethal injection on Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels then grabs Jay Lethal and lands the Angel's Wings on Jay Lethal. Kushida then grabs Christopher Daniels. They kind of go at it, and Kushida manages to reverse a move by Christopher Daniels and gets him into the Kimura lock, or the hoverboard lock, I believe he calls it. The hoverboard lock, because he's Marty McFly. So Kushida gets the hoverboard lock on Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels is then forced to tap. Ding, ding, ding. Kushida and Jay Lethal pick up the victory over the Disrespectful Addiction. So, fun stuff. Great match. Fun match. I liked this week. This last week and this week were both really good weeks. I can't wait till next week already, which I'm actually gonna watch here shortly because I'm recording this pretty late in the week. I'm kind of adjusting to some new things going on in my life. So anyway, not that you care or want to hear that, but anyway. Thank you guys for listening. Really appreciate it. Love you guys very much. Thank you so much for listening. Let me talk about my wrestling and I'm thinking that maybe, quite possibly, next week I might be able to get Steve to record with me. I'm thinking that he's been watching Ring of Honor and he wants to do the recording. Our schedules don't really work out too well right now. So anyway, thank you guys again for listening. If you could please click the subscribe button down below, and don't forget to click that notification bell to receive notification when we post our new stuff. You can find us on Facebook. Just search for Steve and Jay Show. That seems to be our most popular way of communicating with people. You can follow us on Twitter at Steve and Jay Show. You can shoot us an email, thesteveandjayshow@gmail.com. We always appreciate hearing from you. Thank you again for listening, guys. Love you. Good night.